Yeah, believe me when I say I'm coming home to you. Yes, believe me when I say, even in the storm, I come to you. There's no road I wouldn't try, there's no price I wouldn't pay, there's no height I wouldn't climb just for you. I could walk around the world, mountain high and valley blue. I would give up every moment just for you. Believe when I say I'll come home to you. She said, I believed you when you said you would come home to me. You find flowers and cactus on the bed. You find things that we can't that sing. I will cry, I will be bold. I will pray that you will hold all the promises you had just for me. I will remember that you told me that you will never go. And the memories don't tell me that you said. I believe that you say that you'll come home to me. Whether you fire or me, I will love you, my dear. I'll do just anything for you. I'll hold your hands to be very and I will do just anything for you. I'm coming home to you. Baby, I'm coming, darling, coming home. Oh, tonight for whether far or near, I love you, my dear. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to today's space. My name is Kelvin Osai, and I have my colleague here, Percy. We're going to be talking to you about how to transition into nursing, and we've got a lot of guests that are going to also give us their own inspirational story, how they became nurses, why they became nurses, and what's motivating them and keeping them going. And then we're also going to be telling you what you need to do if you want to become a nurse here in the UK. And Percy, how are you?
Good evening, Kevin. I'm good. How are you? Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. How was your day,
Not
basically?
bad.
I
It
hope
was okay.
say you not go do night shifts, come
Yeah.
back or
No, I was actually off today. I'm well rested.
all right, okay. I know one of those night shifts. After you come back and you're in your house sleeping, you'll be hearing the
Honestly,
monitor
the buzzer. Oh,
or the buzzer
yeah.
or something. Life of a nurse, anyway. We have one of our guest speaker here, Proud Nurse MJ, one of the most amazing nurses on this app. Um, she shall like to find my trouble, but we are here still fighting. MJ, MJ, I'm inviting you to speak, oh, as my partner on this street. Let's come and dig it. Let's come and tell people what has been keeping us afloat, what has been, um, motivating us in the profession, and also why nursing. When I say why nursing, I mean why do we choose nursing? Some people say nursing is a calling. Some people say nursing is a career. Some people say nursing is a skill. Some people say nursing is an art. So for me, I belong to the school of thought that say nobody called me to become a nurse. I filled JAM form And I feel jam for my. I remember clearly my colleague or my senior colleague now who motivated me to become a nurse. He became a nurse. He joined Uniport nursing 100 level then, and he told me, "Oh, I think nursing is good. Try and do preline, this." And that's how I, became a nurse. I didn't really see any call or any spiritual anointing on my head to join nursing, but we're here. Percy, yeah, your hand is up.
Honestly, Kevin, I was hoping you'd say you were called. Sincerely,
No, no,
I was hoping you'd say you were called. Because actually, I myself, I wasn't, my mom actually pushed me into nursing. And I think that's like one of the best decisions like she has made for me. Yeah. Some of us were
let
not
me
called,
Let
honestly.
me let me tell you one thing about why I became a nurse. Basically, right from secondary school, I've always loved geography, and I keep telling people geography was one of my best courses. So I love the whole type of map reading, when they taught us rainfall, orographic rainfall, topographic rainfall, different rocks, stalactite, stalagmite, blah blah blah, all those things. I really loved geography, and my geography teacher really knew how to teach us that. We even went for excursion in Ile-Ife, Ikogosi Water Spring, all those things. So I loved it so much that I picked geology as one of my, because I wanted to do astronology and all those things, but I didn't see it now. I picked geology, and then I didn't get it. Then I switched to engineering. When I went to write post UME in, is it UNN? I saw that this their book, math book, was so big. I'm like, I don't really like math. Like, no. And I didn't write that posterior me. I just before my friend now told me to do nursing and I switched. So yeah, nobody called me and I think well I like what I'm doing and I like the fact that uh, anything I choose to do, one thing about me, anything I choose to do, I just do it with passion. I do it so much so that you wait say you not do am, you go come dey pepper you like say if they live past me or if they ball, if they do the one, but I do anything I want to do with so much steez and you understand that kind of thing. So much steez, so much enthusiasm, and that's why nothing is even if I don't know, I'm not saying I'm leaving nothing, but if anything make me to leave nothing, I would always still put that I always still put that nothing in my head, so anyway, we have SK here, we have Nurse MJ. Is Auntie Ifeoluwa here? We also have a lot of guests that are coming to speak to us today. So I've not heard from MJ. Let me invite her to speak. Okay, I've invited her to become a speaker. So that we'll kick on. If you have questions to ask, do well to request the mic and we can add you and then we'll start we'll just start from somewhere. We'll start by answering questions and then we'll move on to giving you insights as to what your options are, why nursing is one of the best professions. Now, one of the things I've realized about nursing is that as a registered nurse, you can work anywhere. You can work anywhere. I mean, literally anywhere. And for example, if I give my own personal experience, you would understand what I'm talking about. I worked in outpatient department as a registered nurse back in Port Harcourt. Then I moved to working in a hospital with a company. The company then always sent me offshore. And now this is offshore is where they send both nurses, doctors. You're just there alone, doing all the care, doing all the treatment, doing all the, whatever happens to all the workers there, managing the worker, managing the location, preventing outbreaks. Then I moved to the UK. I was working in the emergency department as an emergency staff nurse. Then I moved to a role where I was working from home, hybrid kind of. Then I moved to a different role now, which is in public health, where you have to manage outbreaks in the whole council, in the whole borough, public health related, COVID monitoring, care homes, and all those things. You realize that we have nurses who work from home, like research nursing, we have occupational health nurses, we have nurses who also work for companies. Like, for example, these companies where all these vaccine companies and big farm companies, we have nurses who work for them. We also have nurses who work in cancer. Uh, Most times they also work, sometimes they work from home and sometimes they work in the hospital. We have sports nurses, we have legal nurses, we have we have different branches. Like I can really tell that there are some nurses that do not know anything about another branch of nursing. Like we have nursing informatics. Those are nurses who are like in charge of the data, it's more like the data analytics of nursing, the tech part of nursing and all that. So you realize that there's a nurse who is working in outpatient who have no idea or has no idea about what nursing informatics is all about. You may generally have the definition and all that, but the core roles is something that you may need some certification courses to go into. And you're a nurse, but you're not, in the clinical setting. So there are just different aspects of nursing, which I feel that a lot of people can explore. Some people say, oh, I have fear of blood and cannot do nursing. Yeah, that's true, but you don't necessarily have to. You can even become a lecturer. Once you finish your nursing school, you can transition into doing something that will make you become a lecturer and start teaching other people. You can become a researcher. You generate questions, try to solve problems in the profession, generate questionnaires, people fill them, you analyze them, you make your hypothesis or your theory and things like that, things that will help the profession grow. So there are different aspects of nursing, and I feel that if nursing is like the best profession globally. It may not be the best paid profession, but believe me, if there's one thing I tell people, nothing is that profession that if you're short on cash like this, you just think, you just say, okay, I go look for where I go book bank shift. You just do bank shift, you see front, you get So, but anyway, we have one of our speakers here. We have Proudness MJ. MJ, my paddy, how you doing? I can't hear MJ. Is it just me? You're muted though, or is it just me? Percy, can you hear MJ?
No, not at all. I can't hear.
Okay, I think her mic is off, or maybe it's network. I have someone here. I am Diplomacy Depot 2020. Do you mind unmuting yourself and maybe asking
Hi.
your question? Oh, okay. MJ, you said hi.
Yeah, good evening. You can go ahead and ask her. 1 second.
Okay, all
Okay.
right, that's fine. All right. Depot 2020, you can unmute yourself and ask a question, and we can take it off from there. I'll leave Percy to handle the mic from now, and I'll come back in as well.
I'm Deepa 2020. Over to you, please. Do you have anything to say or any question? Nope.
Okay. No, nope. I think let's go to the next person.
Um, Lawal Khadijat. Hi, Lawal. Hello. Okay. So we'll just be taking a few questions. And hi, Nurse MJ.
Hi, and good evening. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that
It's
I've been
okay.
distracted. Sorry.
It's okay. So are you are
It's not
you with us now?
yeah, I'm with you now. I've
Okay.
sorted this my baby out.
Oh, which of the baby, the small or the big one?
Well, I need to take care of my men, so I've already sorted
Oh,
the two
okay.
both of them.
That's good. It's good to have you here on Space tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I would like to ask you, like, yeah, you're a nurse. You're a manager in the theater, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So what inspired you actually to pursue a career in nursing, and how has it been so far?
Okay. Hi everyone. Good evening. Let me start off on the better foot.
Yes,
Hi
please.
everyone, good evening. My name is MJ, and for those of you who don't know me before, I'm a registered nurse. I currently practice in the United Kingdom. I've been a nurse in this country for about 5 years now. Over 5 years, literally, sure. Yeah, for over 5 years now. And I came in as an internationally trained nurse from Nigeria. So I had my diploma in nursing from Nigeria. Okay, and then I also got diploma in perioperative nursing, which is theater nursing. That's what most people call it. also in Lutz in Nigeria. So that's how I migrated to the United Kingdom, and I've been practicing for over 5 years. I started as a band three nurse. That's how we all start. Yeah. And then after I passed my registration examination, I was then registered. I became a registered nurse. I was registered with Nursing and Midwifery Council, UK. And ever since, so I've been practicing, and I'm currently a theater manager, specifically in gynae and obstetric surgery. Okay, yeah. So that's just a brief description of me. I also create content. Yeah, I'm a content creator. I create content around nursing, lifestyle in the UK. Generally, I share um useful updates, information that I believe that a lot of people will find really helpful, especially nurses. So if you're a nurse, I have a YouTube channel that you should be subscribed to, that you will really find helpful. I share free updates down there. Okay, so now let's go back to your question. So what was your first question? Hello, am I speaking to myself?
No, you're
No,
not. Sorry.
you're not speaking to yourself. We're just allowing you to speak. I think the question she asked was basically what inspired you to pursue a career in nursing and how has the journey been so far? Like, if there anyone, like I said, me, no one called me to become a nurse. It wasn't a calling for me. I chose it because a friend advised me and I chose it, you know. So without a prior knowledge about what it was, what was in it. So we're just trying to ask you what inspired you and to pursue the career, and then how has it been?
Okay. Well, hi Kelvin. How are you? How have you been? Hope you're
I
good.
did.
I wonder
I
how you
did.
they even get time for this kind of thing, right? Such a busy man.
So Oloma will tell you how we've gone back and forth.
Okay, so let me go back to your question. What inspired me? Yeah, I'm not going to come here and sugarcoat things and say, "Oh, I got this calling," or "I want to save the world." I want to help the healthcare system. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. What inspired me to study nursing was my mom. Yeah, and I think I've shared a video about that before because I got a lot of questions. Oh, why did you become a nurse? Da, 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 da. My mom inspired me to become a nurse. My mom literally, I will say this way she said, I want you to become a nurse because I've always wanted to be a nurse, but situation, blah blah blah, she couldn't do it. And then she wanted her daughter, her first daughter, to do it. And then the other statement she's always making, just to in our own mind, is to to push me to want to study nursing, is that and they you can travel abroad. They used to nurses, you can say nurse, you see job abroad. My mom was always hammering on that, like she keeps talking about that. She's like a priority to her. I said, so do you want me to be a nurse because it's been your own dream and you want me to take over your dream, or you want me to become a nurse because you want me to come abroad? She said, well, two of it. So that was initially what inspired me to become a nurse. However, along the line, yeah, I became really interested. I think in my first year, I was not really interested in a lot of things, but along the line, I became really interested. And I don't know if they still do it now. In nursing school in Nigeria, they do this thing that they call within exam. So this exam, it's like a whole lot of competition. So you do your exam, and then we probably need only 30 people, or they only need 50 people, yeah, out of probably 200 of you that they have admitted. So you can tell that it's survival of the fittest. So along the line, I'm like, anyway, I don't want to waste my dad's money. So let me try and do better. And someone that was not interested, someone that just grudgingly went into nursing, eventually developed passion for it from going to the posting. I think one of the posting that inspired me more, that even pushed me more, was our theater posting. I said, you know what, I want to become a theater nurse. So let me get serious here. Okay, so that's how I eventually developed the passion for the profession from the postings. Okay, and so far, initially I'm someone that I'm always like, I don't want to travel anywhere. I want to stay in my country. I believed so much in Nigeria. And I said, you know what, I want to be in this country. I want to do everything about my nursing career. I just want to be in Nigeria. I never thought about traveling, despite the fact that my mom already instilled that in my head that, oh, you'll be able to travel abroad as a nurse. I just was focused on just building my own career. I was not bothered about traveling out of the country. However, along the line, yeah, we went for a posting when I was in Lut, and I always say this. I know that a lot of people, if you listen to me, you will know that I say this thing a lot. And I had this very funny experience that I said, you know what, I need to leave this country. I think it was in Lut. I said, I need to leave this country because I just could not stand the suboptimal treatment that patients receive. And I'm like, this is not what they teach us in the book. It's different from what they teach us in the book. I want to practice what they actually teach us in the school, in the book. And that was how I started developing the passion to travel abroad and become a nurse abroad. Yeah. And so far, it's been it's been challenging. That's what I'm going to say. It's been super, super challenging, being in a new country, trying to figure out how to, how to move your way up. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of people telling you cannot do it. Who are you, a bloody immigrant nurse from wherever you're from? You can't be this, you can't be that. And you trying to prove that wrong, pushing yourself. I literally have to find resources myself. How do I get promoted to band six? How do I become a manager? How do I get to that table, the decision making table, and everything? And it's been really, really, really challenging. Yeah, it's been really, really challenging. But one thing I'll say is that it has also been really worth it. Really, really worth it. I think one of the things I enjoy most in practicing in the UK is the fact that if you, whatever you want to be, whatever level you want to get to, if you set your mind to it and you meet the necessary criteria, you will get it. So knowing that your effort is easily rewarded, your effort to probably get to the top is easily rewarded. And the fact that whatever you set your mind to that you want to get, you can get it without needing any backup from anybody, without needing to know any HOD anywhere, without needing to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. It just makes it really worth it, even though it is challenging. So I think I'll just stop there with that question so that others can talk. Yeah.
Thank
I
you
don't know.
very
I hope I
much.
answered your question.
Yes, yes, yes. Honestly, you answered really well. Thank you for not wasting your father's money. Yeah, I used to think most of like the nurses out there would say, oh, they were called to do nursing. But actually, I mean, when we were still much younger, I know we would say, why do you want to be a nurse or you want to care for people? But I think as we grew older, we had that confidence to actually say that actually it was never our choice. Most of us, it was never our choice. For example, like me, when after school, I had no clue what I wanted to be in life. I told my mom I wanted to do agric-economics, and she took me for counseling, saying, what's wrong with my daughter? Or what is it that she wants to do? I failed jam. I wrote jam like 3 times, 3 good times before my mom went to dump me in one private school. And along the line, I got inspired. That's where the inspiration started from. And like you said, it has not actually been easy. I am a nurse. I'm still transitioning the challenges and everything, a new country. And I must really commend you. 5 years and you're already a band seven. That's a really, I look up to you. Really. I look up to you. And if you can be my mentor. Anyways, moving on to the next question. Good evening, Sister Ifeoluwa.
Hi guys, I really do apologize. That I'm late, but
It's all right. We're
please,
happy
guys,
to have you
thank
here
you.
tonight. Yeah. So we know that transferring into the UK is like very, very challenging. But like how were you able to like overcome these challenges? It's not easy. Yes, we know Nigeria, UK, it's totally different. So how were you like able to overcome the challenges? The mic is over to you, Sister Ifeoluwa.
Oh, hi. Can I call you? I'm not sure. What's your name?
Peculiar.
Peculiar.
Yes.
Um, I think just keeping your eyes on the prize, and I know that sounds very cliche, but surround
Yeah.
yourself with good people. and and I think we underestimate the challenges that comes with moving from one country to another. We underestimate it's not a walk in the park. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of energy. You will meet a lot of obstacles. But I think for me, every time I'm faced with a challenge, every time I'm faced with an obstacle, the mindset behind trying to figure out a way rather than just swimming in that problem, and you're just worrying and worrying and worrying. But okay, this obstacle is there. What can I do? What lessons can I take from these issues? What lessons can I take from these hurdles, and then just take it into the next step. Of course, having a plan. I know that a lot of people have probably said it, but having a plan can never be oversaid. You need to have a plan. You need to have a good plan, by the way, not just any kind of plan. You need to have a good plan. You need to have a sensible plan as well. You need to have a smart plan. Is it measurable? Is it time bound? Is it achievable? Is it realistic? you know. So I think having those things also really helps, and just surrounding yourself with good people, surrounding yourself with a community of people that really, really have your back. Not people that talk down on you, not people that also minimize your challenges or minimize the way you feel. You need to surround yourself with people that will help you to climb, that would help you to realistically overcome those hurdles, not people that will tear you down, not people that will give you very bad advice, not because they are mean or not because they are horrible, but because they probably don't know any better as well. But they always say that ignorance is also not an excuse. So it's important to have those things at hand and just be open minded, being very, very open minded. I know that as Nigerians, we have our culture, we're very proud of our culture, we're very proud of where we come from. We can be very opinionated, we can be very, which is not a bad thing. But I think keeping an open mind has also really helped me along my journey of settling in the UK as well. Just embracing the newness of everything as it comes. I don't know if that answers the question, but yeah.
Okay, Auntie Fair, as I always call her. I would have to do a proper introduction for Ifeoluwa Iyanwura. That's her full name. Ifeoluwa is one of the people I look up to in this profession, and she's one of the people that, I know I have a lot of people who look up to me, and that's how the cycle of life is. But then there are people that I look up to, like when I'm at my lowest level, there are people that I call, the people that have heard me cry. If anybody has heard me cry, is that Ifeoluwa. Like, I'm a man, no, I'm saying this like when I say cry, it may not be but I mean, when I'm at my lowest, like when I have challenges that sometimes there are some interviews I have and I'm like, Auntie, see you, I've done this, but I just feel like you have something you can tell me about this. So she's also the convener of Save Heaven. It's a community where Nigerian nurses or internationally educated nurses convene, to meet. And when I say internationally educated nurses, it's not just Nigerians. That's why I corrected myself. It's anybody who is internationally trained and has transitioned into the UK. So she convenes that. She does a lot of events on that. I was lucky to have performed and spoken at one of her events that held in London as well. So she's one of those strong pillars in nursing. If I must give her the accolades, she's a very humble person. As I'm saying this now, believe me, if it was face-to-face meeting we are in, you see her covering her face or bending her face to one side. But thank God it's space, so she can bend her face or she can, but I'll still, blow her trumpet. So I don't know. I'm seeing Nigeria Nurses Charity chari, chari, Charity or Charitable Association UK. I don't know if there is. I don't know if it's Auntie Runke that is on this platform or someone else, but would like you to introduce yourself so that would be will be able to introduce you properly.
Hi guys, good evening. My name is Felix Bomide, and I'll be speaking on behalf of the association, which is Nigerian Nurses Charitable Association UK. The
All right.
association in
Okay.
itself, it's just a community of nurses and midwives supporting one another, basically.
All right. Okay. So you have questions to ask?
Oh, no, 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 really. It's not a question. I want to, is it okay to talk now, or you want to bring me later, or I just carry on if that's okay?
I think what we're doing first is letting the invited guests speak, and then anyone that has questions would ask. So that would be probably much later if that's okay.
Yes, that's fine. No problem at all.
All right, okay. So I'll be addressing the next question to Nurse MJ. So regarding the profession, or if you have any advice for aspiring nurses, what should they prioritize during their transition phase? I know Antifia has said having people and all that, but what do you think anyone that wants to transition into the UK or transition should prioritize if they're in their transition phase? What should they prioritize, and how do they navigate that phase?
Hi, Kelvin. Thank you so much for that question. Because, hi, Sister Ife. I don't know what's going on with my phone.
Hey,
I
Hello.
can I
babes.
can
How
hear
are
you. We
you?
can hear you. Don't worry.
We can hear
Okay.
you, darling. We
Oh,
can hear you.
okay. Hi. Good evening. Yeah. So, back to your question. Yeah, in my own opinion, yeah, although Sister Ife already mentioned that you should not underestimate the importance of mentorship. Yeah,
Mm,
having
mm,
people that you can turn to, not even people, having someone that you know that if you have concerns, if you have issues, you can always speak to this person. It might be someone that is really close to you. It might be someone that is an online mentor, maybe an online coaching or an online coach rather, or mentor that you pay or you don't pay. Okay. And the reason for this is that in my journey, from my own personal experience, yeah, I have discovered that people don't know a lot of things, a whole lot of things. And you are limited by the amount of information that you hold at hand. Okay. For instance, I remember one time someone told me that it was impossible for midwives from, for instance, Nigeria to practice in the UK as midwives. Mm? And this information, when you don't verify certain information, or when some people have never done it, they've never walked through that, through that path, it's easy to just dismiss it and say, yeah, midwives from Nigeria cannot practice in the UK, or midwives from Nigeria cannot practice anywhere else or something. So it's really, and that can really go far. If, for instance, if someone like you, Kelvin, just mention it and say midwife from Nigeria cannot practice anywhere, it can really go far, and it will just keep spreading, to just keep
mm.
spreading. So it's really, really important that you yourself, you are able to get information. Nurses, when I came into the UK, I was told that they need to do, there's something that they do for you if you want to become a band six nurse. There's a course or
Receptor.
a train. It's not preceptorship. It's something
Sorry.
else.
I've forgotten the mentorship.
It's something related to that. So they will
Mentorship.
prepare
Yeah.
you to become a band six and everything. And I did not know anything about that. I had no idea until later that I was like, oh, you have to do this before you can become a band six. You have to do that. You have to do this. I knew nothing about that. All I was focused on was the fact that I went online. I searched necessary requirements to become a band six. I just searched everything. I looked at it and I compared more than 10 applications, and I saw what was common in them, what they needed. And I started working my CV towards that. I know that in theater I have to get something related to care of surgical patients. I have to get this. I have to get that. And then I know that you have to there's a particular course that's related to theater that you have to take, which I already have. And I started working on that to build my CV. If I did not go ahead to search for that information myself, right? And I also remember that I think I spoke with Sister Ife. They assigned me to a mentor in the theater. That was my personal mentor. And I also still speak to Ifeoluwa that this is this. Do you think I'm ready? Do you think I will be able to get this position? What do you think about me so far? And I also spoke with my mentor. Oh, what do you think about me? Do you think I'll be able to fit into this position? Do you think I am ready? Okay. I did not wait because they said they have to register me for one mentorship program or one onboarding or whatever. I just went for it. So the key thing in transitioning in this UK, if you want to get to that seat, if you want to get up, is that get up really and get to work. Search for information. Have someone or people that you can speak with that are within that profession. If you have a specialty that you're interested in, you need to get closer to people that have information regarding that specialty. Is it easy for you to climb up? What are the other opportunities that you can explore within that specialty? Because from my own experience and from the things I've been able to gather, I have been able to mentor or coach a lot of nurses, a lot of people within my circle. Once I get this, I'm like, okay, guys, I found this information, look into it. I found this information, look into it. Information is really key. Positioning yourself is also very essential. In a place, yeah, I always tell people that things that you think that happen back in your country, they also happen here. For instance, favoritism, I don't know if that word is correct. Bias happens here. Your manager can have someone that is their favorite. So when they put out things that, oh, there's a position out there, before they even put it on the application for you to even apply, the person that is the manager's favorite, maybe that person used to, when the person travels on vacation, she used to buy all these vacation souvenir. Maybe the
Chocolate.
chocolate. Maybe the person used to buy all those things and bring it. But you just
And
go and come back. Hello, hello, you're
or they
back.
used to go for their this break together, this their
Exactly.
smoking break
Exactly.
together.
So the person will come back and you think that who's the first person you think the person will consider if they say a position is coming out? They are the ones. That person will first of all tell their favorite. So if you are putting your ears out, putting your eyes out, putting everything out to look out for information, they say they're going to list some band six rows availability. You are looking out for it yourself. You need requirements, you need certain trainings. You're putting yourself out there. Even at work, before they need this, you're already putting yourself out there. It's really, really essential. Positioning yourself. I used to say this, that getting my band 7 role is, nobody prepared me for it. Nobody said go and do this training. No, I positioned myself. When there are things like auditing, my manager is like, oh, we need someone to take up infection control auditing and take endoscopy auditing. I'm there. I'm like, oh, I'm interested, because they will teach me how to do it. So you need to learn positioning, strategic positioning yourself, because you cannot take up a role without actually knowing what is going in there. Because when you want to do your interview, right, you are not answering your interview. They will ask you questions related to band 7 role, and they're not asking you like, what will you do? What did you do? They're asking you like you have been in that role, and you need to be assertive. So when you're answering it, you are answering like even you have done it. So if I have been in charge of auditing as a band 6, and then they ask me that question, what do you know about auditing this, that during a band 7 interview, I will answer it because I have done it. So that is really positioning. Anything they throw at you, see it as you are training yourself. Any challenges I face, the way I'm able to pull through most of my challenges in this career is I see it as training. I hardly cry about things. I'm like, it's a training. I know I will reap the fruit later. And it always happens. If anybody thinks they're punishing me with something, I don't see it as that. I see it as I'm getting the training, and it's always coming handy later. So let me just round this up. Get get support, get mentorship, have a mentor. If you can make your PDN, practice development nurse, your mentor. You can make your friend that you're within the circle, you know that this person is a serious person. You can make the person your mentor. There are people online that do online mentorship that you can also make your mentor, because you need to have someone that can check you. You need to have someone that can say, oh, don't you think you should apply for this position? Don't you think you should do this? And also always look out for yourself. Look out for yourself. Get information. Information is very, very key. And also position yourself strategically, train yourself up, because nobody's going to do it for you. So I hope I answered that question.
Yes, you've done marvelously well. And one of the things I picked up from what you said is uh, you have to get information, you have to strategically position yourself, you have to get a mentor, and also you have to search for these informations yourself. I think that's one thing I learned here in a very, very funny way. I used to work in an emergency department. Sometimes you work with healthcare assistants, and sometimes you know now this place, sometimes they just, some of them tend to want to overdo, to overshadow you as a nurse because they know, okay, you just come and all those things. One of the things I learned is that if this person done a patient, they will say it as if they've done one big thing. Oh, they will just say it in a loud way that the nurse in charge will hear. Oh, I've just positioned the person in base six. Oh, I've just changed the catheter in, I've just done this in the person. I'm like, not be waiting you come here can't do before. Why you they announce them? Not be the work where you can't do. Our own training, you're trained to do your work and go. But there, here you're trained to do the work, blow it up, shout about it, before you go to add a positivity to your life, like to show that you've done something good today. Do you get? So me, I learned sharp. Oh, I've just given the lady in bed six paracetamol. She was spiking temperature. I've just spoken to the doctor about the patient in bed 12. They have requested for a CT scan because she was deteriorating. Oh, I've just bleeped the outreach nurse because this person is using 7. Oh, do you mind? I've just ordered, I started blowing up the things I was doing. IV fluid has finished. I was the one that replaced it. Another person will now come and say they are the one that did it. Do you get? You didn't did it. It is me that did it. Anyway, don't mind me. So those are the things that make people like they will now know that oh, you are integrating well in the system. You're doing things. You're not just there to just do and go. I've also heard of cases where they reported our colleague here saying that they don't know how to communicate. How can you say this person don't know how to communicate? Is it that they did not do IELTS? Is that not the communication people say we should learn? But basically, that wasn't what their problem is. When you are in the staff room with these people, try and talk, try and like engage them. You don't have to talk personal things. When they talk, say their cat they sick, sympathize with them. Even if you not like cats, say, oh, let me see the picture. Oh, lovely. How old is your cat? Oh, do all those things. E no go take anything from you. You now realize that you don't play your politics well because they will not like you. They no know say you dey chop cat for your village. Anyway, so I'm going to be asking the next question. I don't know if I should ask that to Auntie Fair, but I know Auntie Fair would do something that anyway, but let me just ask. So regarding balancing your life, like how do you manage work-life balance while adjusting to the demands of nursing in the UK? That in a couple of minutes, Auntie Fair, just let us know so that we'll learn.
How's that question? Especially if you're bedside nursing, I'm not going to lie to you. Balancing bedside nursing, I don't think there's anything like work-life balance when you're on the bedside. This is just me being very honest. Mujirade, stop laughing.
It's the truth. How do you want to balance it?
I
The equation
don't think
cannot
we
balance.
should be putting bedside nursing and work-life balance in the same sentence because it doesn't exist. However, that being said, if you're working the bedside, and I know that a lot of nurses are burned out, especially in the last 3 years, things have gone downhill so much because there's an artificial recruitment freeze in the nursing space where they're now making nurses, of course, where there's supposed to be 5 nurses, you would hardly see 3 nurses working in those spaces. So it's really hard. But one of the things I would personally say is plan for your shifts.
Hmm.
If it is possible for you to put your phone, let family know when you're working shift. Let them know that in the next 3 days, I'm going to be working night. It is very unlikely that you will be able to get me on my phone. So, except it is very, very, very important, don't bother calling me because I won't be available. Give your family, especially your extended family that lives in Nigeria, that heads up. For people who have children in Nigeria, let your children know, have those conversations with them, letting, because sometimes it can be a lot. You're trying to sleep and then you've got a call, you've picked the call, you can't sleep. It's really difficult. Prep your meals in advance as well. On your day off, make sure that you're preparing in advance for your shift. That way, it reduces your anxiety level. If you take the bus, make sure that you've bought your bus pass in advance, so that on the morning of your first 3 days, that is not when you are like, okay, I want to go to the ATM to get money before I go and pay. It's, again, these are things that I have experienced, that I feel like it sometimes affect the course of the next few days, especially when I'm having back-to-back shifts. Drink lots of water. Prioritize your health as well. Drink lots of water. Exercising also helps. Making sure that you're getting your steps in, making sure that you're um don't tire yourself out. If you see, if you have like back-to-back 3-day shifts in a row, make sure that you're pacing yourself so that by the first day you are not knackered. But again, it's easier said than done, because like I said, putting work-life balance and bedside nursing, honestly, they are not even supposed to be in the same sentence, because bedside nursing right now is, I don't even know how people that are doing it, I honestly don't know how they're doing it, because I give you guys a lot of kudos. Well done to you guys. But with these few points of mine, I hope that you can, prepping in advance helps. It does help. Figure out your energy levels. If you think you're too tired at some point, and if you think that you can't go anymore, if you think you're stressed out, go and see your GP. If you think that you're not feeling well, okay, so this is the thing. I also noticed that a lot of new nurses, they get really anxious when they have to call in sick because they are sick. It's okay to call in sick if you're sick. It's okay to call in to say that I'm not able to come in because I've got flu or I've got a cold where I'm not feeling well. It's fine. Don't feel, the only time that they will refer you to occupational health is if there's a consistent pattern in how you're calling in sick. And of course, you can't call in sick and then they are seeing you on TikTok, you are in Malta. That is going to cause some problems. So, but if you're calling in sick, make sure that you're genuinely sick. But like I said,
Auntie, Auntie, wait. This question, this thing you said. What if Malta is the cure? What if that Montenegro,
so the thing is,
Malta,
it's really
wait,
difficult.
wait,
There have
yes,
been
I know
arguments. So
what you are
Kelvin,
saying,
there
but
have
that's
been
the cure
arguments
to my
about it. To be
depression.
honest, there have been
But
arguments about it to say that, yeah, I'm sick, but what if Malta is the cure to my illness? Which is absolutely
yes,
true.
yes, I
Don't
did not
post
go
it,
there
sir.
to work. I went there to just chill. The doctor said I'm
Don't
having.
post it, Kelvin. That's my own. I'm not gonna say
Anyway,
more than that. You
all
don't need
right.
to post it. They don't. Nobody needs to know you've been in Malta. That's just where I'm coming from. And I'm also not, again, you're calling in sick. You should be able
See,
to defend it,
yes,
if
yes.
you're being called, because of course there will be proof that they will ask for certain things, if
Mm,
things, situations where they question people's illnesses, Kelvin, you can't be sick and then you are drinking and partying.
mm,
It doesn't add up. Do you see my point?
that's true.
So,
That's true.
and situations where they've questioned those things is when people have now.
They called in the morning to say, how are you feeling today? You say, oh, I'm not so good. And then in the evening they are seeing
Exactly.
you. They are
They
seeing
can
you
see
party.
you, passing away somewhere in Belize. So I mean, just have the evidence, that you can really, really, back yourself up. So,
Thank
and for people who work 9 to 5, um, negotiate for flexible working. See, in the
Mm-hmm.
NHS there is flexible working, and I know that a lot of um new nurses also don't want to negotiate or don't like to rattle those. Again, do it sensibly. Look at your team. Can your team afford for you to go away 2 days a week? Because it's not fair when you know in yourself that if you ask for this thing, you're going to be putting your team, and this is me speaking from a management point of view now, look at the team that you're working on. What is their demands? What does the team look like? Are you the most senior person? Do they rely on you a lot for support? You need to weigh those things. Are you supporting your manager the way they need it
Can I
from
hear
support?
Auntie Fair?
What did you say?
Or
Can
she's
you guys
gone
hear
off?
me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go
Okay,
ahead.
Yes, I
fantastic.
can.
Okay, so one of those things, I ran we did a webinar in Safe Haven, I think about 5 months ago, where I invited an HR personnel to come and speak to, and this person works within the NHS, to come and talk about a lot of things that we don't know around human resources and what you can do to get. And after that, at the back of that conversation, two of the girls in my community actually applied for flexible working and they got it. So they now work 3 days from home, 2 days on site. So negotiate flexible working. And this is my policy, is that if you apply for something, they would either say yes or no. If they say no, you've not lost anything because you've applied. It's a yes or no. You've not lost anything if they say no. You can just look at, okay, why have they said no? Okay, maybe this is the reason why they've said no. Maybe I can try again in 6 months. So the NHS is promoting flexible working lately, especially for people who work in non-patient facing or non-clinical roles. If you've got childcare, if you've got, if you have genuine reasons to not be able to come to site 5 days a week. Like I said, there's so many things on those HR policies that I think a lot of nurses who are new in the system don't read or are not familiar with. I know it's a lot to consume, but sometimes if you're struggling with something, if there are things that you think you need support with, find somebody who can point you in the right direction, and you'll be surprised that there's probably a policy somewhere that can help you. Have I answered that question, Kelvin?
Yes, you've
Thank
answered
you.
perfectly well.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I totally agree with you. Exercise, prep in advance, it well. The NHS is actually very flexible. They are very accommodating. You just need to ask for it. I have certain people at my workplace whereby they work certain hours, like 7 to 4. They work certain days. And people like us who don't have childcare, who don't have anything, they push us to the rest of the shift. So yes, I totally agree with you. And also, I mean, nurses, we work majorly 3 to 4 times a week. So the remaining days of the week, we can at least go out and socialize, attend parties.
I disagree with you because the
Ah,
remaining 2 days you use and recuperate from the 3 days
If
that
you
you have.
if you have children, those remaining 2 days, you're actually trying to catch up on life.
We
yeah,
I
understand that
don't
the
true.
agree
4 hours
with
is not
you.
complete.
Yeah, that's true. But then, 3 days in a week, the remaining 4 days. Okay, except people that actually work 8 to 5, that work like 5 times a week or 4 times a week. But then there's always a way to kind of balance things up to the little like that we can. And for example, now we have like this NIUK end of the year party coming up on December 6th. That's also a way to like at least come out and socialize and forget your worries, forget bedside nursing for at least a day or two and meet up with new people. Anyways, thank you very much, Sister Ife, for that. We have here with us Madame Ibironke, and today is also her birthday. Happy birthday to you, ma. Long life and prosperity. Thank you for all you do for us. We really appreciate it. Good evening, Mrs. Ibironke. Hello, ma.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Happy birthday to you,
Good
ma.
evening. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good evening,
I
Auntie.
appreciate
Good
it.
evening, ma. How are you?
Good. I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for the invite, and I'm sorry for coming late. It's been a busy day,
Oh,
but we're
bless you.
here.
Yeah, pardon, ma. Today's your birthday, so we'll let you off on this.
Thank you. I know you've got capable hands and they must have covered the floor, really. So, what exactly do you want me to say? Where do you want me to come in? Is anyone still wondering why they should be a nurse in 2024? Or what aspect of it do you want me to come in as?
Yes, but So if you would I think earlier Nosemji spoke about like mentorship and
Mm-hmm.
how we should get mentors, but some of us we actually do not know how we can actually get this. Do we like just walk up to our managers and say, "Oh, be my mentor," or how can we actually assess it? How do we get resources that will actually help us in our transitioning in nursing?
Transitioning into nursing or progressing in your career as a nurse.
Progressing as a
Fantastic.
nurse. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to get that straight. And I'm sure part of it would have been said as well. However, I'm going to come in from this perspective. Good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for being here. So, um, nursing as a career path, I would say, is one of the most rewarding career paths anybody can choose, irrespective of the year we are or the year we're going to be going to. So, should you still become a nurse in 2024? Yeah, if you have the zeal to believe you can help people, including yourself, because actually, before we talk about a nurse helping anyone, they help themselves first. So, if there is any career that you invest in yourself first before you actually do into any other person, it is nursing. There is no aspect of nursing that is not rewarding. It actually just depends on who you are talking to and where that person is on their journey of life. Even for those that have migrated out of nursing and they've chosen other paths that nursing has led them to, they will still tell you the nursing side of them still come to the fore on so many occasions of their life, and that includes me talking here. So, your career progression as a nurse. Now, it comes in different phases, but a lot of it actually has to do with your personality as a person and how ready and willing are you to self develop. Before anyone can invest in you, you must be ready to invest in yourself. I will never, not talk about that. It's something I will continue to hammer. It doesn't matter what level you are in this career, as long as you are in this country, United Kingdom, or any other diasporan, country, what you choose to become is entirely up to you. How fast you want to grow has a lot to do with your persona and your character as a person. It's not like back home that you have to count 3 years, count 6 years before you can go from one to the other. And it doesn't matter whether that is in 1999 or 2024. Because if you're going to talk about it from the then perspective, I'm a living witness or an example of the fact that even when racism would have been said to be at the forefront of career progression for a black nurse, I was among the very few nurses that got to the then top. And I'm referring it as then because there was almost a cap as to how far you can go in our days, like without you having to hit some major block. Then you will hear that hardly do you see nurses progressing beyond D grade. The maximum they will get to is E grade. And then there came some of us, yeah, we're quite young, ambitious, ready to give it all our best shot.
Auntie,
We
I'm really sorry to interrupt, but guys, when you hear D grade and E grade or more, okay, I'm talking 30, 40 years in the profession.
people can't.
I have to say that.
Sorry, you can't relate with that, Shay. I know. It
Yeah,
might
some of
sound
us are
really
Gen
strange
Z
to a lot
nurses,
of
man,
people.
please.
Yes, that's what it used to be, D, E, and F. And you can almost be sure that even when anybody look at you as a black nurse, nobody expects you to go beyond E. In fact, your seniors that you met in service say, Madarela, the maximum you can go is E grade. I was like, what do you mean? When people are in G, come on, let's go for it. And before we then had the transition from the D, E, and whatever to the bands and all that. What I'm trying to say is, even as far back as then, many of us broke that glass ceiling. How did we do it? We were ready to walk our asses off. Sorry, pardon my language. For me, I might be old school, but I still believe, even in this generation in 2024, for you to get to the top, you must be ready to work hard. Work hard on yourself. Listen to podcasts on self development. It doesn't matter which field they are self-developing at whatever you pick from all those self-development, podcasts and books and YouTube videos. They are very applicable in your career as a nurse. See, once you begin to develop yourself as a leader, and leadership is not until you do the mentorship courses or whatever. Once you begin to lead yourself, it will show at your place of work. I am telling you, because your approach to your work will be different from your every other colleagues. Your patients will notice it, your colleagues will notice it, your seniors will notice it. If you're in the NHS organizations, your site managers, everybody will notice it, because even as a band 5, top band 5 staff who is always in charge of the ward, the way you will coordinate and run the ward, everybody will see. There are some things you don't talk about. When challenges come, the way you comport yourself, the way you embrace them, your can-do attitude, people will notice it. Now, when you begin to give something to your ward, right, or whichever part of the of the hospital you're working in, and they say that, come on, when Ronke is on duty, things move. When there is a crisis, she steps up, right? When we need help, she's always willing to. Whenever those intra-hospital jobs come on board, all you need to do is put in your application. They will be the one to prepare you for the interviews themselves. You going in will just be a walkover, because they already know you have the capacity anyway. That is one. That is you. Number two, that I will not stop talking about, even though I'm no longer in the hospital and all. Have I stopped doing courses? Hell no. As of today, I was still in a lecture doing a particular course. Never stop self-development when it comes to courses. There is no course you do that is not relevant. Keep building that CV. See, there is no trust in the country now that doesn't have finance or budget for education. Is there? That is one of the greatest advantage of you working within the NHS. But sadly, a lot of our people don't embrace it, and it is sad. It's like you have free money that is thrown at you, but you're not taking it. You should. You should be a pally of your practice development nurses. It doesn't matter where you are. Ask them about funding. Show interest. In fact, even if it is not a course that is usually being done on your ward or whatever, usually around January, February, that is when they begin to wrap up, because by the end of March, the money is gone. They need to roll out into the next budget on the 5th of April. Ask the question, do we have any spare funding left for any cause? I've got some free time. Can I do it? Now, they might negotiate with you that I will give you money, but you do it in your own free time. Take it. Because the minute you get that certificate, it becomes yours. You've enhanced your CV. You have one edge ahead of all your other colleagues. And it doesn't matter whether you're on holiday. It doesn't matter whether you are on annual leave or whether you're on maternity leave or whatever. I'll give you an example. When I made my transition from the then 5 to 6 or whatever it was, I was actually on maternity leave at home. I was heavily pregnant. And I spoke with the PDA and said there is a course going around. I said, can you put me on it? I was heavily pregnant but doing that course. In fact, I had one very, very crazy story. I'll never forget it. I had the naming ceremony, the Yoruba naming ceremony on the 8 days of birth, and I gave birth through the cesarean section. On day 9, my tummy was still big, and this is me in underground going to the class in West London. Some people, they weren't aware that I was not at home. They came to visit us to come and see the baby. Mama baby has gone to school. And they go home, met my ex-husband with the baby, say, where is she? School? He started calling people in Nigeria that she's gone mad. Can you imagine? She went to school. Now, the significance of that course, I'll tell you. When I was ready to go back out of my mat leave, I went back to work. My first month back from maternity leave, there was a job going, band 5 to 6, and I applied. Tell me about Audacity. I'll talk about Audacity. Ask me about, I applied for it. I've spent 9 bloody months at home, but I applied for the course. I applied for that job. And of course, I was shortlisted. And I went to the interview. There were 3 of them in the panel. One said, Ronke, this is insane. You've just returned barely 3 weeks ago. And this is you interviewing for a higher band role. Why would you think we should give you that this job? I said, you will give me the job. You know why? Yes, I was on mat leave. But before I left on mat leave, you knew my capacity. You knew I would do my job. But whilst on mat leave, I wasn't just sitting at home. Okay, I've done this course and that course whilst on mat leave. So tell me how I'm not qualified for a leadership position. I got the job. I actually got that job. And it was crazy because it wasn't expected, but it did happen. You know, so don't shy away from looking for opportunities, asking for opportunities, and doing stuff in your own spare time. You are developing yourself. Listen, if you're not developing yourself for that particular department you are developing yourself for roles out of that department. If you want a particular post and they are not giving to you where you are, but you've enriched your CV and say, you know what, this CV is rich. I'm going to give it a shot. If you are in West London, move, apply in East London for the next band up. Go and get it. Do it for another 6 months. Be ready to move. Listen, every single one of you here right now, you don't have any excuse not to move, because it's not the days where they say you must spend 18 months in one position before you move. No, it's about your competency, your confidence, your approach to your work, and your ability to learn. Even when you don't feel you're fully ready for that role, but you've done the course. So you know what? I've done the course, I've learned, I'm ready to put my learning into practice. I will just need someone to walk me through the rope. They will do it because they want someone that is willing to put in that effort. And that puts you at the edge of the next person. The third thing is about the confidence you're putting in. Listen, these days and age, tell me the reason or the excuse you have not to know. Every single one of us have ChatGPT on our phones. If they ask a question, check. Be the one that will have the confidence, that will comport themselves professionally. They are talking. Speak the professional language. When you go on the rounds with the doctor, be confident of what you. After all, you've been on that ward, you've learned about the routine conditions on your ward. Why should you not know it in and out? Why should you not know it? When they are speaking the language, speak the language of confidence. And if you don't know, there is nothing big in it. Well, I've actually forgotten about that. Can I quickly check and I come back to you? Or can you talk me through it and I can apply it on my next patient? Who is not ready to teach? There is no consultant that is not ready. If you show them, they will show you stuff. They will teach you how to hold the scalpel. They would let you do stuff with your hands if they see that you have the willingness and the capacity to do it and you're ready to learn. They might pair you with some of their registrars that know are very good with teaching. I've seen a lot of my own colleagues that transition from nursing actually to medicine in this UK. They did, and some transition from nursing into management, core hospital management. If you look at the wards and you feel, bedside nursing is not my thing. Nurses are becoming project managers these days. Am I lying? There are so many of us now. Nurses are becoming product managers these days. Am I lying? There are so many of us. Nurses are becoming chief executive officers. These days, we've got one. And by the way, we are in a Nigerian forum. How many of you, by the way, have registered for the NIUK, conference coming up? Go to that conference and look at what Nigerian nurses have become in United Kingdom. We now have nurses who are chief executive officers of CEOs of NHS organization. SLAM, South London and mostly, as big as that trust is, their CEO is a Nigerian. He started from HCA, we used to call them healthcare assistants. And now he's moved. He's at the very top. Now, of that organization. All the boys in the house, the male nurses, what is stopping you? Join the Jabari Network. The Jabari Network are a network of male nurses, black male nurses, Africans, mostly all of them, I think. What are they doing? They are grooming you for leadership. Like proper NHS leadership. In 10 years in your career, in fact, I'm glad Nurse MJ is here. She's not 5 years, she's the manager. You don't have any excuse anymore. You've got the mentors out there. You're looking at what your other colleagues are doing. Ask questions. Tag onto their apron string. What are you doing? What do I need to know? I don't see any leader that doesn't want to groom the next leaders, except he's a selfish person. And if you're a selfish person, you yourself won't grow. I'm sorry. But if you're ready and willing to pour into the next generation, telling stuff, mentoring people, supporting doesn't limit you in any way. In fact, you grow, I grow. We take the space and we make it ours. Right? So you don't have any excuses anymore. The jobs are there. Keep applying for that next post up. It does not matter if you do not get it at the first attempt. At least you are getting that exposure. When you go for that interview, you get exposed to all the questions they've asked. Make a mental note of them. Go and learn and research into the right ways to answer them. YouTube is like another minor university that will answer anything for you. ChatGPT is there. You do it, you didn't get it, apply again, whether in that trust or in another trust. This generation of nurses, this generation of Nigerian nurses that your eyes have actually seen shaggy with all the stuff. Then Then